Grab your flip-flops and head on down to the lake. But before you grab those sandals, make sure you find ones that are good for your feet.
Dr. Kate Decker, podiatrist with Summit Foot and Ankle, is here to share the must-know details for that open-toed footwear in this sponsored interview. And I love cute shoes. We all do. And we think a lot about comfort, though, because some we call our sit-down shoes. And maybe we come in our Crocs and then we switch last minute. But what should we be looking for in a summer shoe?
Yeah, so a lot of this is about the shoes we're going to wear more than just sitting down. And so the things we need to be looking for, I think a lot of summer shoes have very thin soles. So first thing is making sure that there's some sole there with some shock absorption. So I've got a few examples here. I mean, both of these, you see, it's not just something thin. I mean, there's a little bit of absorption to this so that you're not just basically walking on the ground. You know, some of those thin flip-flops, it's barely anything between you and the ground.
That's the summer shoe, right? Yes. Is the flip-flop. And you think, oh, it's just so easy, I'm gonna run and then run in them and do this and do that. And before you know it, you've walked a couple miles.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So these are kind of some ones for walking a little bit further. Things to think about are arch support to them. You're not gonna be able to usually put any type of insert in, so look for something that's already, you know, got some support built up. You can see right here, this one as well, the Chaco. And then the other things too is the more straps to hold on the foot, the better. Because what happens is if you're in something that's just, you know, kind of a small little string like some flip-flops are, you like start to pull those toes down to hold it on, and it actually can really tighten up your arch and give you some pain later on.
Oh, wait, you're so right. I'm thinking of when you get really cheap flip-flops and it starts to just get smushed and you can feel your heel on the hard floor. But look how structured
so these are very structured. And you know, these are just examples, you know, try ones on for yourself, but these are some different ones that you've got a good strap here, you've got some good straps there. The other thing that happens is in the summer is that our feet tend to swell. I'm sure it's like this weekend, you know, everyone's like, oh, rings are a little tighter, you know, shoes are a little tighter with that heat. So trying on shoes either at the end of the day or on a warmer day before you pick, just to make sure those straps aren't going to be too tight on them. You can find ones like the Chacos here too. These straps, if you pull on them, will adjust, and so that can be really nice. You can loosen them just like you would a tennis shoe, and you know that can help too on a hot day as well.
That's a really great tip, that your feet changes throughout the day, and so make sure when you are trying on shoes that it is probably the bigger or the most swelled. Now this one doesn't have a strap in the back.
Correct.
So is
we
this
can
okay,
break
or is this
some
bad?
rules sometimes.
Break some rules.
These are cute.
And how can we do it a little bit better? Actually, I love the color on this one actually. So you know, you do have to put flip-flops on sometimes. You, like we were saying, you go into the beach, you're going to the pool. Like, you don't want to be like putting this thing on, strapping it on just because they have to get up and run up to the concession stand or something like that, or after a kid. So when you're looking for the flip-flops, the bigger the strap, the better, because again, it's that whole like holding the toe down. If this foot's more supported across the top, you're not going to have to do that as much. And then you can find some with some, you know, with a better sole and some arch support to them too. So, you know, that's things to look for a little bit more in that flip-flop.
And then it's the length of time. So we're just running quickly in those. Those are safe. So the other day I wore the cutest pair of pink jelly shoes. They just have a little chunky heel. But I did notice in the hot weather, it gave me a blister. The material on my skin, it hurt.
It does, yeah. And so that's something else to think about too. Something that's not going to rub against you as your foot sweats. You know, that can be really helpful as well. And then the other one is, you know, the wedge that a couple of us are sporting today. That's, you know, a good kind of break the rule if you do have to dress up. You know, especially in the summer, a lot of times you end up on grass. It's better to have that full support. A lot of times too, your toe's a little bit higher, and so, you know, with that chunkier heel, you get more height without having to be as high in the shoe.
Wedges are cute for the summer.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, you can find some really good and comfortable. And then also, you say, even though those aren't wedges, it's a thicker...
The thicker sole. The more you can have to anchor you down under that heel, and that's just kind of a heel in general.
Better than a stiletto. But you passed, Saray passed, Nisha's in a wedge today. I need to go shopping. What about people that have neuropathy or foot issues and they have that exposed foot in the summer?
So that's probably the one group that really should be careful to avoid a slipper, or sorry, to avoid a sandal, is someone with you know, loss of sensation in their feet, neuropathy. You can sometimes get like a little pebble in there, or a little twig, something like that. Don't know and all of a sudden, you know, it's like rubbed a small little, you know, wound on that foot or a blister or something like that. So probably better in those people to stay with a closed-toed shoe.
But I think some good takeaways. More straps, the better. A little bit more platform, a little more structure. You can still be cute with the sandals and some flip-flops. You can break the rules sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, and then know how long you're going to wear them. That's another big thing. Am I running a million errands, or I'm just, you know, going to be at a little dinner for a while?
We'll have to find out where you got these later. Where do we go for more information?
So Summit Foot and Ankle, and then the other thing too is the American Podiatric Medical Association. Their website they list all the brands that they've given their stamp of approval, and sandals are a good one on there to find. So
is Crocs on them on the list?
It is actually.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. You're good.
Yeah, we know. Oh, thank you so much.
You're
Great
welcome.
tips. Thank you. Our thanks to Summit Foot and Ankle for sponsoring this interview.